I have some large resin molds, and if you'd like to see how I'm going to transform these into these lovely resin crafts, keep watching this video. Hey YouTube, so today in this video I am going to be doing some epoxy resin in these molds that I have from like over the years that I just kind of bought and like kind of set to the side. Or like when I got it, didn't realize how big it was and how much epoxy it was going to take. Now, if you know, you know, but this epoxy resin can be pretty expensive. I usually try to get a gallon because when I use it, I like to use it quite a bit on certain molds that I have. You can buy it smaller. I think these were about 60 bucks for this gallon. Each one of these is a half a gallon. And that other one, I had this for a long time because that other one that looks kind of yellow is really supposed to be clear. So when you have it for a while, sometimes it can change colors. So I found this and I'm like, I have some newer epoxy, but I decided to use this. Like, why not? So it still turns out really good, especially if you're going to be adding like some mica powders for the coloring, or if you're going to be adding like some glitters. So this is just an old little pot that I have that's just for me to mix up resin in. So you'll start with the part A, then you'll mix the part B. You want to make sure that you do equal parts. And then I'm going to mix these together. I'm going to separate them in plastic cups, and I'm going to do different color glitters. Also in the very beginning, I was showing you the molds I have. So I have a large Chanel logo mold. And I checked before I did this video because I like to post where I got things from, like the links, because you may be interested. Do you know it's not available? It's no longer available, but I got it off AliExpress back in 2021 or 2022. I set it to the side and kind of lost it because when I got it, I was like, this is going to take a lot of epoxy. So I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll get to it, and then didn't get to it. The other one says Blessed, and it's from Amazon. And then the other one I showed you, it says Love. So these are made by 3 different companies. I think the one that says Bless is by Let's Resin, and they're on Amazon. So anyway, I'm just going to be mixing. You want to mix them for at least 5 to 7 minutes. What you kind of do is just look at the instructions and see what it says. Make sure you're wearing a mask, a ventilator mask, a respirator mask. Yeah, it's called a ventilator mask, not a respirator. Or is it called a respirator? I don't know, but you know the mask that you have to have those filters on. I have one. I couldn't find mine, so I had my window open, fan on, and I was wearing like a mask, just a regular face mask, because this stuff is pretty strong. So I'm gonna add some glitter, some gold glitter to one of these. I'm gonna add also a little bit of white iridescent glitter, just to kind of see how it looks. Originally, I wanted to use the glitter, the gold glitter, in the one that says Blessed, but I forgot and poured it in the wrong one and ended up pouring it in the one that's Chanel. But it still ended up being pretty cute. So now I'm gonna start pouring the things in. So I'm pouring the gold glitter into the Blessed mold. Now I don't know if I put too much glitter or what, but for some reason, when this one did cure, it was still able to be, it was like still bendy, like real bendy after like a whole 24 hours. So I think it's a such thing as adding too much glitter. I don't know. I'll have to see. But it still ended up being very pretty. So originally I wanted this glitter to be in the Chanel mode, but it turned out cute. So you're just going to see me go ahead and add the glitters to the molds. You'll see, I'll start out with these 3 big molds. But I ended up having too much glitter. Having too much epoxy left over. And you do not want to waste your epoxy. So what I did is I went and got a lot of other smaller molds. Just so I didn't waste anything. Because the setting time on this one, I believe, is 45 minutes. So you can work as long as you can work. But once 45 minutes come along, it'll start to harden up on you. So you kind of want to be quick. You don't want to rush, but you want to be quick enough. Because this stuff will set up and start getting like really tacky and hard, but it won't get hard until like at least 24 to 48 hours. It depends on if your home is, I guess, really cold. This stuff sets up and cures a lot faster when it's like summertime. So now I'm taking this very pretty sparkly red glitter. I just got this one from the glitter from Walmart. Super pretty. All my other glitters I pretty much get from papermart.com, or I get them from Michael's. So Michael's, the craft store. So you'll just see me go ahead and adding the epoxy to the molds. So this is so pretty. So that's what I'm doing. Okay guys, so here I am pulling out all my other molds. I pulled out some, it still wasn't enough. I had to go get some more. So these molds pretty much come from either, like this bow, that one came from Temu. The little candy piece one came from, I think it came from some website, but it also could have came from Amazon. So, you know, you just kind of search online for different molds, or if it's a certain shape you're looking for, you search for it that way. The one that I'll be using, if I didn't already use it, the one with the nail mold to show like the nail display, that one came from Etsy. The perfume bottles, I like to use those. That one came from Amazon. Okay, now, so this mirror, as you can see, like, kind of look at it real quick before I pour this epoxy on there. You see how it's not flat? Like, it has some type of weird, like, little design on it, because originally I wanted to put some vinyl on it and then go over that with rhinestones. But I'm like, that's just not, it wasn't working out for me. So I'm like, let me just put a little bit of this resin on here. As you can see, I added some black mica powder. If you're not familiar with mica powder is like this powder you buy to add a colorant to your epoxy. You can also use it in your UV resin. It's like jet black, like tar. I think I used too much because for whatever reason, whatever you'll see when in the end, whatever molds I filled with the epoxy that had the black mica powder in it, it's like it never like fully cured. Like it just kept being real bendy and flexible, and it like kept, when I touch it, kept leaving fingerprints. It's not supposed to do that. Once it sets up and cures for at least 24 to 48 hours, it's supposed to be like normal, you know? So we'll talk about this later. So I was like, let me just see what this does, adding this on to the back of this mirror. Because of course, it's going to give you that nice smooth surface. So I didn't know which way to go with this mirror. At first, I hated it. Then I had started working with it and it came together. Okay, so these are all the molds that I filled up with all the epoxy that I had, because I had like a little bit more left over. Then I must have sprinkled some of the epoxy. I must have sprinkled some of the iridescent glitter on top of the mirror, and I didn't like that either. So you also need a heat gun if you have one. Some people use like a lighter torch or something, but a heat gun will help get out any bubbles or like any kind of like cloudiness. So you want to have a heat gun when you're dealing with epoxy resin. So I'm just kind of going over that, over all of them, just to kind of smooth out the bubbles and just to make sure everything looks, you know, looks good. Okay, so I'll unmold everything else later. I had to like insert this right here because this was a gift for someone. Like this video took me a couple of days. I was busy. This was so hard to unmold. I don't know why. And I was scared I was gonna break it. So one of the ladies at church, it was her birthday, and I wanted to give this to her as one of her gifts. And it was like something cute she could put on her mantelpiece or whatever. But as you can see, you could bend the thing all up. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not. So I unmolded this. It wasn't a full 24 hours, but it was still hard enough for me to unmold it. Because I knew, and I'm glad I did this the night before. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. But I knew that if I did this right before I was trying to leave out the house for church, I would have been late. So I was like, let me just get this out now. So I got it out. It was so hard. I guess that's kind of a good thing that the mold is so sturdy. But I also felt like I was gonna break it because it was like the letters, like, look, I don't know if you can look at it and tell this thing was like just super like bending. It was bending like a Twizzler. So I don't know what that was about. I don't know. I think I might have put too much glitter. I've never had an issue putting too much glitter before. I've had an issue using too much mica powder, but it still turned out really cute. Look how sparkly that is. It's so sparkly and so pretty. if you can see how it's like moving, I'm like, how can I fix this? How can I get this to be a little sturdy on some of these areas? Like if I pick it up, it almost go into like an arch. So I was like, okay, the S's and the E and the D are like really, okay. So the idea I came up with was to put a pinch of UV resin, which is not the same as epoxy resin. There's a difference. UV resin cures, if you don't know, it cures with a UV lamp. So I put a pinch in between there to like hold those letters together. And it kind of worked out. I didn't want everything looking super smushed, but it kind of worked out just putting like a little pinch across to kind of make sure it wouldn't be a full-blown McDonald's arch just from picking it up. So I was like, okay, where else can I stand to add a little pinch? So I did it between the E, I think that's the E, and the S. And I'm going to cure that again too. The only thing that worked out good, but when I picked it up, the B and the L still had like some movement. So I don't know. I guess as long as she just sit it there and don't nobody touch it, it should be fine. Because it's not sticky on my hands, like it's not cured. It's just like, it was just weak. I don't know. It was weird. And maybe the longer it sets, it'll get better. But as you can see, those parts are sturdy. It's just that B and that. See how I can move that back and forth? That's not supposed to be like that. Okay, so now it's a full 24, maybe 48 hours for this one. And I'm gonna unmold this. This one is not as hard. This joker, when I tell you this bad boy is solid and heavy. But look, what do you notice? Do you see it? Do you see that? I was like, why on earth is this bad boy this cloudy? This is cute. It is. But where's my sparkle and my shine? Was my first initial thought. Look at the back of it. Look how sparkly the back is compared to the front. I was like, come on, what's going on? Look at that. Look how sparkly the back is and look how dull the front is. But I was like, you know what? I got something for you. I'm going to sand this down some, wipe it off with some alcohol, and then try to do like a glaze of UV resin on top. Now, I think that's kind of where I messed up. I Googled if I could use UV resin on top of epoxy resin, and it said as long as it's like cured, fine, all the way 100% cured, it should be fine. It worked, but for whatever reason, it took forever to like cure and get to where when I touch it, my fingerprints weren't still on it. I kept leaving fingerprints on it. I don't know. It was just weird. So I guess if I had to, it's like called a doming, when you have to make something shiny on top. You sand it down and you dome it. Or you do like to me, like a clear coat or whatever you want to call it. I wiped all the ashiness off from me sanding it down, of course, first. It's still dull even after this, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to add a little coat of the UV resin just to get the shine back. It did work, but like I said, it was still like it just took way too long to cure. This gold is so pretty. I really like this gold. Okay, so here's the UV resin. And then I'm going to use my finger, of course, with my gloved finger. And as soon as I smooth that on, do you see how it just brings back that beautiful sparkle? Do you see that? So I think next time what I'll do, instead of using UV resin, I'll just mix up a little bitty cup of the epoxy resin. And then just let it sit and let it do its thing. I wanted to try to get it as closely on every little nook and cranny as possible so it doesn't look all shiny. And then you look to the side like, oh wow, why is it cloudy on the side? So that's just what I was trying to do. And then I'm just going to let this cure under the UV lamp. But I had to keep letting it cure and cure and cure and cure. And it, like I said, it was just sticky when I would pick it up. Okay, so I thought this one was gonna do the same thing that the Bless one did. And it didn't. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if I didn't put as much glitter in this one as I did with the silver glitter. I don't know. But this bad boy, this one didn't do none of that bending stuff. None of it. This was rock solid, hard, sturdy, like super sturdy. This one was good. So I don't know if it's the mold, with the glitter, something I did. I don't know. But I really do like how this turned out. I really like confetti glitters. I'll take a confetti chunky glitter all day over a little extra fine glitter. They all serve their purpose, but I used to just only use fine glitters. I don't know. I was kind of intimidated by the chunky glitters. I don't know why. But once I started using them, the shine, they just hit different. I just love them. Okay, so this is the nail display that you see some people with. Some of them people have the acrylic ones. I bought this just to play around with it. The mold came from Etsy. This is how you do it. Like if you do nails and you want to show your nails, you put like the name of your nail business, maybe your Instagram on there. That's what this is for. I had made one for somebody. I didn't really care how it turned out. I just wanted to get a little more practice with it because I actually like the way it looks better when people put the acrylic names on it. And then now moving on to the bracelet. This is a bracelet. It's like a medium-sized bracelet because I made my toddler daughter one, but I used a smaller size bracelet one. Again, this one was super bendy and it was super hard to get out this mold, which is a good thing. That means that the mold is very sturdy, very, very sturdy. But yeah, I had to tussle with this. Okay, so look how it's like moving back and forth. Like I said, maybe over time it'll like harden up better. Okay, so look how this is on my arm. Of course, you could add some bling to this. You could do some stuff with this. So I think it's cute. Nice little wide bangle. Add some cute stuff to it. Maybe I'll do a separate short or something, adding something to that. Okay, here we go with this black epoxy resin. Super bendy. Like I said, I think I added a little bit too much. It just didn't turn out like how it was supposed to. But I'll just put that to the side and use it for something later. This was another one. I think I got this one from Amazon. It probably was like a set of like 8. It's like a TV, but it's like the kind that you could, it's like a shaker charm thing. Because you could put like whatever liquid you want to put inside of it. And then they have like these little sheets that you will go on top of it and you shake it up. This one came from Temu. It's cute, nice and heavy, but it's not as shiny. I noticed that the molds that have that more white transparent look like this mold is good. Like look at that, it has the shine. But when you look at how dull and almost yellowy and beige that Chanel one was, it make your stuff dull. So the whiter the mold, I think the higher the quality. I'm not sure what this is. This is just something I bought off AliExpress a long time ago. It looked like it's supposed to be some type of game shaker thing. Again, another shaker one if you want to add some liquid inside of it. Close it off with that the little epoxy sheet. I forgot what it's called, but there's a sheet for it. I have some. I made a shaker before. It was okay. After a while it started leaking. All right, this is one of my favorites. I like the teddy bear molds. For whatever reason, this teddy bear mold with the glitter, this one was just fine. It was nice and hard and sturdy, so I didn't have an issue with this. So that was cute. Actually, one of my orders I got recently, because I try to put little cute gifts in my orders from my website. When you order from my website, myroyalradiance.com, I try my best to put some type of gift of appreciation. So somebody got one of these. I just be grabbing random stuff because I be having a lot of stuff, y'all, from doing these little crafts. Somebody got one of these perfume bottles in their order, and they got that bear and that candy one. I just unmolded, so you won't see it at the end of this video when I show everything, and that's why. Okay, here we go with the mirror, y'all. Here we go with the mirror. This iridescent glitter turned, I guess the combination of the black and the iridescent, it made it look like I put lime green glitter on here, and it just, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And then look how this spilled through that hole on the back. I was just like, what am I going to do with this mirror? I don't want to waste it. I want to make something for my niece who's in cosmetology school, and she is doing her thing. She is a finalist in some type of competition for doing like color on these beautiful wigs. Then she added some rhinestones to it. Like, she is the bomb. So her name is like 819 by Kenzie. And I had already cut the vinyl out with my silhouette cameo. And I was like, I can't fit the word by on here. So hopefully it ended up being okay. 819 Kenzie. Hopefully that's enough. Because I'm like, I don't want to recut this and redo this. And I just like the way it looked, the way it is. I'm sanding these edges down because when I poured it on, it was just like hard. You see? So I try to get it off as much as possible. Here's the 819 Kenzie that I'll cut out with my silhouette cameo. I want to say the height is, altogether the height is probably, this might be 6x6 or 7x7, something like that. So what I like is that the epoxy, so I wanted to be careful not to use my actual palm of my hand, just to give it more time to cure better, because it was like my fingerprints kept showing up on the black. I don't know what that was about. So I just used this wax paper. That's what I'm laying this on, like a wax cookie sheet from Dollar Tree. I buy a lot of those when I do crafts, just to kind of lay on the table so I won't get epoxy, you know, just so I won't make a mess, because sometimes these arts and crafts and DIYs can get a little messy. Okay, so of course you're welcome to leave it just with the vinyl on it. Like, you could just walk out, boom, be done right here. I decided I wanted to add some rhinestones to the numbers and the letters. I'm using a 5mm jelly rhinestone, top pink. I'm also using a glue called One Dot Not a Lot. I got hip to this glue probably about a good 3 years ago, y'all. This glue is the same bottle. Like, I switch glues up. I don't always use like the same consistent glue. This glue is non-toxic. I think when I bought it, it was $16. I think now this glue is about $18, $19. But when it says One Dot Not a Lot, it does come out like a real creamy look to it, but it does dry clear. It's a very strong hold. It takes about 24 hours to dry, but it is a good glue. So I'm just going to be adding rhinestones to the letters. Okay, so I am adding the finishing touches of the rhinestones to the letters. Now, I still got to go to work on this mirror, y'all, because look at the edges. It just kind of like leaked down to the edges. I felt like I needed to do my best to kind of conceal the edges of the mirror because they not all the way sanded down the best way. And I felt like it still looked unfinished, so I went ahead and got some chunky rhinestones and some UV resin. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to hold up. I'm hoping that it does hold up pretty good. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I usually know, like, for a fact that the UV resin and the rhinestones is a good combination when I'm dealing with something that's transparent. So when I cured it, I made sure I did it from like multiple angles and put a decent amount of the UV resin. But UV resin, you have to use it most likely, mainly, majority of the time with something that is transparent, because UV resin can't cure properly if there's not, if the light can't get through, if you get what I'm saying. Because I've had a couple times where I used it on a surface like this and it'll hold up a little bit because of the spilled UV resin around the sides. Not the spilled, but the excess around the sides to hold it in. But underneath, when it actually comes off, you'll look at your rhinestone and it's still wet. Like, okay, why didn't it cure? And one day I was like, duh, girl, the light couldn't get underneath. So hopefully this holds up, because I did kind of go back through and like angle it, squeeze a little bit more UV resin, and then let it cure from multiple angles, if I'm making sense. But I started to like it a lot better once I started adding these chunky stones to it. Now, on the front, I had to figure out the front, because you know, you could still see that spillage and it just still wasn't looking too good. So I angled it, because if I would have did it flat, the rhinestones were starting to get like directly on the mirror, and I did not want rhinestones on the mirror. So it just came together and I'm almost done. Just kind of watched and see how I just went around the edges and just kind of made the best of it. Okay, so I'm almost done, you guys. I'm going to show you a couple different angles at the end of the video. Okay, you guys, here is the final finished result. I'm showing you the Blessed first because I had to go ahead and get that one out the way because this was already given to somebody before this video was even finalized. It's really sparkly. It's super cute. I don't know if it's a such thing as using too much glitter or not, but it was a little bendy. But when sitting like this, not touching it and not bothering it, it's just fine. This mold came from Amazon. I think this turned out really pretty. The lady I gave it to for her birthday, she loved it. This was a big hit. She really liked this. That made me feel really good. Okay, so here are the other things that I unmolded. The big old Chanel in the back. You see it's looking nice and sparkly. The Love one, I love how that red glitter is hitting. The bracelets, the smaller molds, the Mickey Mouse. It was just a lot of stuff that I had. Again, don't add too much mica powder if you can help it. When you use the mica powder, use a little bit, stir it up, see how dark it is. But don't just dump too much in there. I guess I just kind of dumped it in there. I don't know. But this Love, the Love is really cute, sturdy, super sturdy. This bracelet is cute. You could do it in any color you want, and you could add some cute stuff to it. So I think that was nice. Very cute. Okay, so this is the nail display, and you can flip it if you want to. You can do one side. You can make it be right or left. Just flip it over. But I will say, because I made one in a short before, and people were like, "Oh, it's taken away from the nails." Do a solid color, y'all. Whatever color you want, do it the color you want. This is the Chanel again, and this is the Love. Now here is the mirror. Let's talk about this mirror, y'all. This mirror, I had to really go to work on this bad boy because I just wasn't feeling it at first. I should have used the glitter, the silver glitter on this mirror. That would have been like really cute as a background. The black is still cool because the pink pops on the black. And then with the rhinestones and everything around the edge and on the back, I need to wipe it with some Windex. But I think my niece is gonna really like this. I'm just showing y'all the front view of it, y'all. And I just think it looked really cute from the front with all these big chunky rhinestones. Like, I really like this mirror. I really hope she like it. I hope the rhinestones stay on there like how they should stay on there in my mind, because once the rhinestones start falling off, it's just going to be a no-no. It's going to be a no-no. I want to play around some more with some mirrors. I like how people using those little small handheld mirrors. I'll have to find some of those. I just had these bigger size mirrors that I got off Amazon. It was like a 10-pack for probably like $16 a year ago. And I finally decided to do something with one. I do like the idea of using the UV resin to make my background smooth enough to be able to add the vinyl to it. But I like it. I haven't given it to her yet. I think I wanted to make her something else too. But maybe I'll just go ahead and give it to her, and then whatever else I'm gonna make for her, I'll give that to her as well. This is how the side looks. If you want, you can go in between that part too. I just feel like it's fine. The rhinestones in the front and the back is cool. I could have went through the middle. I didn't. I'm not. But I hope you did enjoy this video. It is on the long side. I haven't used any UV resin in a long time. But it's just to show you different ideas and things you could do with the crafts. All those smaller pieces that I was just like filling up to not waste my epoxy, all of those can be turned into either like some brooches. They could be turned into Crocs charms. They could be turned into keychains. So there's a lot that you could do with epoxy resin. Just make sure you have your gloves. Make sure you have your mask and a ventilated room, and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you for coming to my channel. Subscribe if you want to. If not, thank you for stopping by. At least maybe give the video a thumbs up and share it on Facebook or send it to someone who may be interested. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye. Hey guys, check out my website, myroyalradiance.com. And there's always a coupon code available with a special discount Royal Beauty 10 off. Use it today. We have some updated styles of luxury-inspired faux leather fabric. And when you buy 3 sheets of fabric, you'll get the 4th one free of charge. They also have these beautiful iron-on patches available and these beautiful planner charms that are so versatile. You can use these to decorate your cell phone cases, compact mirrors, or you can turn these into brooches or croc charms. More beautiful sparkly gold iron-on patches for your Crocs or denim jackets, and the latest item we have are the brooches for the slouch socks. We also have luxury-inspired Crocs charms. Iron-on transfers are also available. Check out our website, see our tactical defense, where we do have in-waistband gun holsters, belly bands, magnetic holsters, and a lot more.